and let's see what we can do here. We have had some warm-up matches, but they didn't feel too good. Going to bring the bishop here, keeping it as steady and simple as I can for now. The opening is the key thing, isn't it? Knowing the rhythms that we're happy with. We're going to bring the knight out. We can get the opening sorted. We do tend to fare okay in then capturing pieces and position on the board. We're going to castle because that's what we like to do. In a high percentage of games, our openings aren't too bad until obviously we make a mistake in some of them and we think, oh, why did we do that? Subconsciously in those, it's like, oh, let's try something new. But I've not told my brain that. So this is supporting this. The simple pawn is going to come here. It's going to open the bishop, I think. Maybe here. So don't really know what I'm delaying at. Every time when I'm in this situation, I see my poor bishop here, I'm thinking, oh, can the bishop do something, surely? Well, we just resign ourselves to bring the bishop here. All the while thinking of all the lessons learned in all the games that we played. You know, tempting to just push this just to say, well, okay, if he's going to do this, then we're going to do this. He takes, and then we can take. Does that work for us? Could just attack their bishop and see what he wants to do. They'll probably go, yes, let's take, because we're doubling the pawns. Then we're going to hit the knight. The knight has to move. Where does the knight move to? It's not really moving anywhere. Moving onto the edge, or it's moving back to where it came. Let's push this pawn here. Keep it as simple as possible in terms of them pushing onto this side. If he does push, we can take, he can take, we can take. We get the rook for free. Now he looks like he's coming supporting stuff, but he's also got the diagonal here. Is he looking to get the knight in here as well to put some more pressure on the pawn? Probably so. But does it mean also that we push this pawn? They may be looking to take, open up the king, but I don't think they'll do that. So just bringing the pawn here, but are we losing tempo because he's going to kick this in? So we push, he pushes, we take, and he doesn't have to do anything. He could always just take with the bishop as well. Doesn't have to take with the pawn because the rook would still get took if he takes with the pawn. Yeah, so he could take with the bishop or he can take with the queen. Right. Can't be doing this because this pawn is blocking here. All the activity is hitting there. We can hit their bishop, and if he does take, we take, but then our rook gets taken off the board. So it's kind of negated this now because the bishop can take and the queen will get the pawn. If we attack their knight, the knight can move, which is looking to come here to put the pressure on the pawn, like we said. So there's no point in doing that. We can see that picture building up so fast that they're going to be attacking this pawn. So we may as well just do this. Worked out in my head the variables of their potential attack. It's probably continue doing this maneuver. But they don't have to rush to do that. They can go and castle if they want. They can develop the bishop, get the knight out. There's plenty of things. Just trying to make sure we're hopefully trying to circumvent their main attacks. Oh, can't do my arrows. And they have gone and castled. Okay, so they're taking the time now. So we can, as we said, but again, the bishop needs to move first. Bishop either comes here, attacks the knight now, potential for doubling the pawns. Obviously the knight's going to move. So we're making that space so that then if we are going to attack and they do take and we take, then at least we're attacking their rook or saving our rook. But are we going to be down a pawn if we do that? So we go there. If we go there, he's not going to do that. We're thinking he's doing something else, aren't we? So if he moves the knight out of the way, say. We're just trying to work this thing here. And if we push this, takes, we take. So he's got a pawn up there when the bishop takes. But we would have got a rook. That's the type of compensation. Maybe down a pawn, yeah. Alright, I don't think it's going to work out like that, but let's just bring the bishop here. There's potential for it. So we are focused on trying to do this if they let us. It all depends on what they do. So a strategical type thing is this rook's got no defense on at the minute. Oh, and he's making space, so he's defending the. So definitely want to go shooting here because the rook still doesn't have any protection. So I'm going to go with this because it is forking both. So it takes, but then the rook goes, well, I'm going to take you anyway, so then the bishop takes. So it's not going to be as clear cut as we think. It goes takes, we take, rook takes, queen takes, and then the bishop takes. So it's going to be up the pawn, like we said. But I'm happy with my position. So that's where the pawn goes. Yeah. Happy. So let's focus now. Let's attack the bishop with the rook. Queen could go shooting down towards the end, but the rook is protected by the king. I'm assuming the bishop's just going to take, but we don't. They might love the bishops. So a sacrificial pawn, in a sense, to try and get a better position. Thinking we're owning this file with the queen, but really it's not owning the file with the queen. Rook's opposite there, queen. Potential. Oh, he's gone defending. Potential for that sort of stuff, but it's not happening just yet. Pawn's got no protection. Pawn's protected by the bishop. Could just take a knight off the board. We could come back and defend, but he is hitting it twice, so we could come back and defend. There's nothing behind the knight, so we could move the knight and just attack. This queen's attacking our queen. We could take, bishop takes. They're looking to trade down now because they're up material by one pawn, which makes sense. We bring the bishop back. Queen takes, rook takes. Then we're kind of x-rayed through by their bishop. Not a really nice position. I think we'll just go with a simple capturing of the queen. Taking time. And the rook is closer to owning this file if need be, I think. Attacking the bishop. Bishop comes and takes the knight, so we're not going to do that straight away. Okay. Alright, so now moving the knight. Potentially here. It's on the rim. Could bring it back and then come back here. Getting more into the game. Comes here. He may just drop this pawn so the knight's not jumping here. See if he does that. If we go there and he drops that pawn down, then we'll just bring the knight here and work it around that way. Yeah. How's it going? Just bring the knight around. Looking to come here, but as we said, if he drops here, don't keep the knight on the rim. Let's get the knight back around again. Maybe try and do a bit of scooping. They've moved their knight back, so it looks like the bishop's getting hit. Could hit their bishop. Knight's protecting. If they forget themselves, then we get it for free. Oh, they haven't. So they've gone hiding into a little cubby hole. Right, so I think we'll bring the knight here, attacking the pawn. They're moving a bit quick now, so I'm hoping they're going to start making mistakes. So now they've gone defense nanny, defending the pawn. Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to start making mistakes. Is this where we can start uglying the pawns? They are +1. So we hit this pawn, he doesn't do anything, we take, just looking to get some disturbance. Could hit this pawn. I think we'll hit this pawn. This one looks like it's going to make it uglier. Yeah, let's just get this opened up a bit. Yeah, they're moving fast now. They're going blitz. I think they've got a panic going on, which is good for us. It should allow us to get not a better position, but we can uglify the pawn. Just take. We could leave it. We could just bring the bishop here. That looks more locked down. We take. It's opening up space around the king. Probably going to take with the bishop though. Then this pawn's holding the center. So I'm going to just bring the bishop here and say, well, what are you doing? Because they're playing real quick now. They're playing it like it's a bullet match or a blitz match. So they push past. So now all that space in front of our king, they're looking to challenge that. So that's nice. It's locking out our pieces from our kingside area in a sense. So we could move the king and just get the rook across. Do we need to worry about that at this moment in time? Rook could come across. Ooh, arrow. Could come across. Thinking of getting here, but the knight is protecting at the minute. White square bishop. Knight's got a bit of a pass, but it's got nowhere else to go at the minute. So I've got pictures of them just blasting down with the knight and all that sort of stuff. But in these positions, they've locked themselves out too. Even though they've got like a passageway to come down and attack, they still locked their pieces out of that area. So the area for attacking, we've got our pieces, I would say, on the right side. It's just that I need to get them mobilized. This to here, bishop comes and protects. The knight gets to sit in here. That's a nice position for it. Anything else? Moving the king? No, no, no. I think we need to get mobilized with... Get the rook. But he's defending this area twice. Why is that knight doing so much of a good job? What else is there? Let's have a look at the positives. Obviously, we're not going to do this. Pushes. Then we haven't got anything else to take back. They are +1. Where is the advantage? It's in the center. We're trying to keep it as blocked as possible. It's got this, which is a little bit past in a sense. And the idea in the end game is to attack their pawn majority. And their majority is around here, isn't it? Really? Yeah. So this center pawn here. Or this pawn here. That's what we've got to be targeting in some way. I believe, okay, I think the knight's moving. I think the knight's moving. The bishop coming out. The rook, is it the rook? Rook facing the pawn in the center that we're worried about. Going to bring the rook here. It's got not much there because the bishop is protecting. What am I trying to get at? I'm trying to get this, but my bishop can't get there, can it? It can't get there. If the knight moves, then we can attack their bishop, making a bit more space. Okay, so they've gone for a non-move, so I think I'm going to go with not that one and see if there's an exchange. They'll gladly exchange because they're +1, but we're really trying to focus on the pawn majority-ish area and see if we can get these pawns off. Not to get the pawn back, but just to get their majority area sorted. Some may go, the majority is here, but it's got even 3 here. So the majority is around here, and this one's got space, that's got space, and support each other against my 2 rhino heads at the minute. So we're just shuffling to see if they make a mistake, because they're doing blitzy moves. Right, okay, so they're targeting our king area, but it is against our pawn, same side majority type thing. Minority type area. We're going to attack the bishop, because that's what we said we were going to do. Hopefully they take, and then I'm thinking, maybe I'm envisaging that we can start putting some pressure towards these somehow. I mean, they're miraculously defending this square quite easily with both of these pieces, so the rook's not getting in there. I just have a feeling, a gut feeling, that just trying to get this area here should improve our position, whilst they're focusing on strangulating our king somehow in the minority area, because this is where they've got the majority. Now they've slowed down a bit. I'm hoping that the speedy moves they did earlier gave us the slightest bit of tempo in terms of advantage. Even though they're +1, as we said, it depends on the position of your pieces with your +1s or your extra material. So it feels fairly interesting at the minute. Again, you could look at it and go, well, you're not in a dynamic position, but the opponent isn't either. It's very defensive, their position, and we're trying to be proactive and try and break their position down. Okay, he's dropped the pawn, so we are just going to take this bishop off the board. I think that's as simple as I can put that. He's obviously looking to stop the knight from jumping into here, but obviously it couldn't go there with that maneuver. I'm just thinking now, is there anything else? We take, the knight takes. Knight's not got any support. We bring the rook here, so it gives us a bit of a thing. Rook comes here to defend. Knight can come here type thing to attack. So it's given us some type of play, which is what we kind of wanted. So we will do this and just take. It's the smallest of, I'm not saying advantages, but smallest of activity that is being gathered. Do I get my rook trapped if I'm coming here? Could potentially get it trapped. I just saw something there. Could potentially get it trapped because the knight could just come here and just lock it in. But if it does, yeah, it could, because it'll still be defending the knight. But there's nothing that can actually come and get the rook if it is there. Apart from the king coming across. Oh yeah. Let's look at that. That's pretty swish, I think. So we attack the knight, and maybe it doesn't like that knight being attacked, and he goes. No, I think that's the position. This knight locking the rook in. Yeah, that locks it in, doesn't it? I think, could this one do the same thing? Rook here. And locks it in there. Not really locked in there though, is it? Because then he can move about a bit. So it's going to be that one. Yeah. We go there. He locks in the rook. The rook's got no play in the game. So obviously it could sacrifice itself. And then the bishop can just do a move. And the king can just take its time coming over. Just waddling through. And can it get... yeah, the rook's there. Can't get to the rook though, can it? The king. If the rook's there, that knight is here. Yes, it can. Now I've cleared the picture. Yes, it can. It goes boom, 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 and it come here and just get the rook. So I'd have to exchange the rook for a knight. So the rook comes up, the knight blocks in. It's going to take how many moves for the king to get across there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 moves to get across there. Yep. So the rook's here, the knight comes here. I'm not saying they're thinking of that, but it looks pretty obvious for a locking. Right, so their knight is going to be on the dark square. And then we move the knight here. Say they move the king. Then we move our knight here. Back in their knight. It maybe takes, but he's going to get his knight taken. But he's no, because he's like got the bishop there as well. So that's we attack, and maybe they take, and then we take with the pawn. And he's got 2 passes. We've got a pass here. Yep, very messy. That's going to be very messy. I'm going to take the chance. We're going to take the chance. We've worked it through. That's the worst case scenario that we're going to face. Done the count. The king's the only one that can come and attack the rook. And then it's Messyville from there. Because these pawns will be open somehow. I don't know if there's any magic with the pawn going there. Don't want to go too far with the calculation. But we're trying to dishevel this pawn majority they've got because they've got a +1. Oh, they've done it. They did it. And let's just go with the knight. They did it. I think that was worthwhile doing a calculation, but after that we don't really know what move they're going to do. But we did think they were wanting to get the king across here. They may do something else that I didn't calculate whatsoever. They might even get fancy and arty and just attack the bishop or something. I'm just thinking, yeah, does the rook come here just to feel like it's in the game? Or does the bishop move and it's going to go for an exchange with the rook? Because he's +1, so he probably take advantage of that. That would be a simpler way than trying to get the king over across. Probably bring the bishop here though to be all stealthy and skillful. So it brings the bishop there. We bring the knight here. Takes, pawn takes on the knight. But the knight's going to be attacking the bishop. Like we said, bishop's got no protection. Bring the bishop back. Knight's in a nice position, really. Not really a fan of that. But the knight does go... where is it? Is there. Our pawn's here. Does his bishop not have a problem? His bishop would have a problem. He can't go there. What are you on about? What are you on about? Oh, I'm thinking they're so protected that they can go there. They can't go there. The rook's just going to take it off the board. So it goes here. Or even here, actually, because it's going to be attacking this pawn. To try and get this here. We jump in. They might ignore, but I think they'll just take. But if they do take, you see now it all falls into place. If they do take, then we can take their knight because the bishop's no longer protecting. Well, we'll see what they do now then. We'll see what they do. Key focal point is trying to focus on the majority if we can. That's why we're here. This must be the longest move of the game for the opponent. They blitzed out the earlier moves. And the rook has come. The rook has come, so we can still continue doing this, but I think is there an issue because then when he does take, we can just take his rook. King's obviously going to take. Then we take, we're hitting the knight. And knight goes round, attacks the pawn. Bishop's protecting the pawn. Could hit the knight. Comes round, is hitting the pawn. There's nothing defending, so we'd have to hang fire on pushing further. Attack the knight. Don't have to take though, does he? He's got protection here as well, so he doesn't really have to take. We are hitting this pawn, we'd get that for free. I think they will take. And we've got to remember not to take straight away, we've got to take the rook first. Okay, let's jump it in. Yeah, we're trying to get an ugly situation of a potential fake threat here with the pawn being here, so it's advanced up the board, so it gives them something to think about. But at the same time, we have to deal with these two pawns here. Oh, he's not actually taken. Is this player really clever? We take the rook, king takes. We can't take here because they're defending. We attack the bishop. Bishop comes here, defends the knight. We take this knight because the bishop's on it. Ooh, attack the bishop. Bishop goes here because he still needs to protect the knight. Then we could take this off the board. Attack the bishop. Yeah, I think attacking the bishop. Rook's not defending. Knight's not defending. This knight's not blocking. No. I'm going to attack the bishop. I think that position should work for us. We basically got a fork with the rook and the knight. On the bishop and the knight. With the funny looking position. If the bishop moves, he's probably going to look to attack something, but I think all our pieces are defended. He's probably just going to attack our knight and just say, well, okay, at least I'm getting it back, but it would be down a minor piece. Just trying to look if there's any magic thing for the rook. Rook. No, definitely not. Well, he could go there, couldn't he? But go there, we take, he takes, and takes. There must be some distraction work going on now then. Is he just going to come back and attack or go with this knight and attack our knight? I don't think that makes much difference in terms of the bishop being taken. Bishop comes here. This knight is going. We get trapped. Bishop comes here, rook takes. With a check. Because it's got that invaluable check. Don't have to, you can move there like this. Yeah. I feel like monologuing the situation. It does definitely feel like we're going to get a minor piece advantage, but positionally on the board, are we going to be strong enough? We've got pieces on the back, minor piece and the bishop. This pawn is under threat from here if the knight does go. So they've gone for the attacking a piece for attacking a piece. Damn it. Ah, isn't that a shame? We get two though. If he takes our bishop, we then get his knight. This is my silent celebration mode, which I shouldn't do, but you know, you've got to focus on, well, did this actually happen? Based off of the speed at which the opponent was moving, because it's no guarantees of getting a victory. We might get more material, but are they still going to win out? I mean, if he takes, then we take. We've got to check on his king. He has to do something about that. Probably going to move because he wants to keep his rook. He still has a knight around the back. We can take the pawn with the knight, attacking the rook. Rook can attack the knight. Our rook's here, isn't it? Our rook's here, so we can't put the check on there. I don't think he'll let, I don't think he'll let that happen. So we could go with this, attacking, letting the bishop go. Because his knight can't take. So it's the same sort of scenario in a sense. So we go here, attacking the rook, attacking the knight. Again, it's giving them more things to think about, because if they do take, we'll just take the rook off the board. But it's that point where he can just come here, can't he? Right, so go with the knight, attacking the knight. The rook goes, no, I'm not having any of that. So we come here, and then we can go. Rook takes the knight with a check on the king. He has to move here. Has to move there. Move there. The knight's not got a check on. Oh, there's nothing here. That would mean this knight could come and put a check on the king. Defending the bishop. Doesn't have any protection, but I think that's probably a better way. They may just take the bishop off the board, but we'll get a higher piece off the board, taking. Obviously the knight can't take because they've got the x-ray through. So we're focused on trying to get rid of the majority pawns. I think we've done that. And along the way, it's helped improve our position on the board. Wow. But I won't monologue. I was just about to start monologuing before, and then they did the knight move. But seeing as we're taking our time, we're trying to find the better position. And just keeping that pressure going. So they have moved, but they're not attacking the knight. So they're not letting us in, they're actually protecting the pawn. So we are up a minor piece, well, +3. So taking the knight, if the rook takes. And we have to move this bishop out the way. Is it in a nice position? I'm not too sure. Do we want to go with that fight? Could attack their rook, attacking this pawn. This poor bishop has got nowhere to go, but we are attacking another higher piece. Is that getting too arty? But it logically in my head it's saying, okay, we are attacking a higher piece. He has to do something about it. Obviously he can just come and defend, can't he? But then if he goes to defend, we can then take this pawn. So does he just drop? Oh, he's just going to drop there. What am I on about? He'll come here. He's just going to drop here to defend. Defending both. Very clever, isn't it? And the simple way would be just to take the knight off the board. Rook doesn't have to take the knight though, you know. And he takes our bishop. If he just takes the bishop. We come here so that we can sort of maybe rest easy on here. And he starts dancing, attacking this pawn. Takes. Say they do take. Does take. Does take. Bishop moves. Oh, hold on. What am I on about? Knight takes, protecting the bishop for a brief moment. King goes, nope, not having any of that. So we have to make some sort of maneuvers for protecting the bishop. This pawn's going to have no protection, but we can push this pawn up, I suppose. Keeping this diagonal. I think we take. Just keep it simple. I don't know what they're going to do. We will just take. Like we said, they don't have to take. They could just say, right, definitely getting rid of this bishop. It's at these points here, like playing over the board. This is where the brain can get fuzzy, and you can feel, yes, you feel like you've got some sort of advantage, but it's these types of games I need to be pushing through. they have actually captured, so they're going for simplified as best. Let's take, and then let's just grab this pawn and defend the bishop for a brief second, like we said. And we're looking to probably just keep the bishop on this diagonal to stop the knight having much fun here. And then bring this pawn here to support the passed pawn. So we could push this pawn first to support this pawn, which is the passed pawn. Oh, what am I doing? I said do this first because the king's just going to hit the... Oh. Oh. I said do this first. Narration mode took over. I could do that later. I need to move the bishop. Now I've lost my knight. Oh, the bishop. Oh, he's not done it. He's not done it. Oh, that's a big mistake on my part. King coming here. Attacking my knight. It's got no protection. What am I going to do? Unless they saw something I didn't see. But I'm moving the bishop first. Oh. Silly. He moved that pawn. Did I have a check on his king or something if his king came down? No, I didn't. That was a big mistake of mine. It's at that point my brain does that narration mode in when I'm playing in the games as well. So they're playing quick now. They're playing like it's bullet. So it could still be a draw because we can't get things past and this bishop is all jammed in here. It's not really going anywhere. So we could go and look to challenge. Bam, bam, bam. Not really. Knight can dance. Be nice if the bishop was there. Hit the knight. And he starts dancing. Get in a good position to attack this pawn. I think going for simple at this moment. Maybe trying to make some space for potential passing up. Get the king activated once the bishop and the knight have found some sort of semblance of play. Only one that can give it space at the minute is this one here to give the bishop a little bit of breathing space. We are attacking this pawn as well, by the way. I think they'll take the chance and just move the knight here, defending the pawn. Makes us have to work a bit harder. I'm not too sure about this because the knight has to stay there protecting and the bishop's never getting out. Oh, they've taken. Getting Zugzwang. No, we've got a passer, so they have to babysit that pawn. So our king is just going to go for a little walk all the way across the other side of the board. His king's coming here to come for the bishop, but we can let him take the bishop and just go like this. So we'll just move here. Not going to take the bishop, obviously. And we'll just slide here. And then he'll just keep going backwards and forwards. Until such time as we can, I think, try and get across here and here. I think that's the way that this is going. Alright, so he can't come down there anymore, so he has to go bouncing somewhere else. Or straight back. Yeah, it's probably gonna be... Anyway, I'm gonna go with it. Go with it, just keep moving the king. And if we go here, he comes down. And if we go there, he takes the bishop. And then we push, 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 push. Yep. I think that'll work. Let's go. Looking at the physical count, I mean, the only one that's going to get through in any speed is he has to come here, take this, move his king out of the way, get down and get down. This pawn should be good to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got about 8 or 9 moves before a promotion. If that, because the king's stopping here anyway. And it's protecting this pawn. And he's behind our pawn now, so he's not going to catch the pawn. I've seen stranger things. Got to be careful. Got 31 minutes, we don't need to rush it now. Practice the end game. He does have pawns that can be utilised as shields to get his promotion. So yeah, you still have to box clever. Oh, and they've resigned. Oh, crikey. That was like a proper long play game. Going to look at the analysis. Let's see how quickly they've done a report analysis. Oh, they haven't done yet. Wow. Really enjoyed that. And we made a mistake in the end part of the game. Narration mode took over. We would have lost that. Guaranteed we would have lost that if the opponent had moved their king down. Yeah, too busy yapping about the move, the moves, and didn't look at the move order. I'd already said what I was going to do, but then just got carried away with flicking the pawn up. So slightly annoyed at that. But I'm really impressed with the development towards the king, well, these majority pawns in this part of the game. We covered off the narration for each of the maneuvers. And it's not saying it was perfect or anything like that, but for me, it felt like we had a rationale for it. They were +1. Yeah, they ended up being +1 from, let's have a look. What's this position, wasn't it? Yeah, so this pawn here, grabbed. No, it's not that one. Rook came. Oh yeah, it's this pawn. Yeah, we'd already said that we're probably going to be down a pawn from this position, but we were looking at improving our position on the board. Only way to do that is create a bit of mayhem. It's going to give them the pawn majority on that side. It seemed to work okay for us. Yeah, so it's showing them a slight advantage, whatever it was that they should have done to make that better. Saying bishop a3 or something. Yeah, but they didn't do that. We can only go based off what the opponent did. And we brought our bishop back looking to say, well, let's just get an exchange going. Viewer doesn't like it, but the opponent didn't like it either. And just developing the knight, looking to attack the pawn. And now we've got these two pawns here facing off the pawn majority that they've got at the moment. But they're charging down now, attacking our pawn minority. So their focal point was on attacking our minority side. And I suppose in a way that you could say they were attacking our majority side, because that's the most amount of pawns that we've got on our side. So logically you could say they were following the process. Our process was, let's try and put as much pressure on these pawns as it is, and maybe it's going to improve our position, but that was our focal point. So we came through, and this is where the rook got trapped. And we did say we worked it all through. As we said, I'm not going to go through it again because we spent lots of time on that, but found out that it's not really trapped, and just developed our pieces. The knight's gone back, and looks like we're taking good advantage. Couldn't really see anything else that they could do, but we were talking it through and played out fairly okay. So I'm really quite pleased with that maneuverability, and definitely getting rid of their pawn majority side. That was the focal point that helped us get there. Now this is where this gauge bar is just going to go absolutely nuts now. Look at that. Actually, it's not showing it's lost. I thought it would have been lost. Yeah, I thought it would have been lost, because all he's going to have to do is just do this. Yeah, that's all he's going to have to do. It's saying knight g5, it's moving the knight. moving the knight, just letting the bishop get taken. Yeah, okay. Because we have got a majority, haven't we? Right, okay. So we weren't losing, it's just that we would have been losing the minority advantage that we had. But yeah, that was wrong. That was the wrong move. We discussed the bishop moving here. Sometimes that happens when I'm playing over the board, when I'm, you know, I feel like I'm in a good position, and then I do the move order in my head, nice paced out maneuvering in my head, and then when it comes to them making a move, I then go whoosh, like, oh yeah, and I don't do the move order in the right way that I'd calculated. Simplest of things, just the move order does count. So we did it wrong, but then the opponent didn't capitalize on it. And looks fairly okay. It was always going to be nice one.